many times I have bankrupted myself. And if I stopped, I never would have been able to change the lives of so many of our clients.
Mm.
I am honored that I get to say that, but it's because I didn't give up. It wasn't the entrepreneur journey is the most roller coaster ride of your life.
Yeah.
And you will feel like you're on top of the world, and the next second you'll just be like, what am I doing with my life? And you're haggling over $2 for like a smoothie because you're paying your
That's
team and
it.
you have
Yeah.
enough money for yourself. Like you will question yourself so much, but just keep going because the universe will fall in love with a stubborn heart. Just keep going. One foot in front of the other.
That's so good. It reminds me, so you talked about your capital raising process. So flying back and forth from DC, having pennies to your name. I remember when I started my capital raising journey, I didn't even know somebody that could lend me $100, let alone invest 100,000. I was like, oh my God. So I love your point about just go find it, figure it out, research it, Google it. That's literally what I did. I was like, who invests in Australia? It's like
Totally. Oh my
crazy.
God. Look it up. Ask, like, take a million meetings. And people, even
Yes.
with I'm not even exaggerating with you, even with my second company, I had an amazing win. I had a case study of like, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Was it easy to raise money the second time? Yes. Did I still take 200 investment meetings to land seven? Yes. And you're going to have moments where you're screaming in your car and you're tired. Just do it. Just, it will work out.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things where people don't owe you your money, owe you their money. And it's
Mhm.
investing is a really big deal. I literally would be like, I would sit with people. I'm like, who do you think I should just talk to? And they're like, these five people. And I set up five meetings. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But it's also like, this wasn't like, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And if you
Yeah.
wanted to be incredible, swing for the fences.
I love that too. I love that you said you took 200 meetings because I feel like people, especially when it comes to investment, they're like, okay, who are like the top two people that would invest in my company that are in the right niche that are, and I'm like, oh, that's not how it works.
Oh, no, 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 no. You
Oh,
gotta get everyone, speak to everyone and their mother.
mm,
Sometimes your investment might completely come out of left field because you took a random meeting that you didn't even know
yes.
where it would go, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And this is my second time, by the way. The first time was significantly harder
Yeah.
because, I had been in the industry for about 8 years at that point, and I knew a lot of people, but who's to say I know how to run a company? You know what I mean? And I did. I do.
You knew that you knew how to run a
Knew.
company.
I knew, and I believed in me, and people believed in it. And the thing about raising money is like you don't raise like uh well the first times, right?
Mm,
You're not looking for that $1 million paycheck. You're looking for $100,000 tops to get you going.
yeah.
Prove your concept, then raise more. Prove it again. Raise, and you have to. That
Yeah.
if it's your first go around, you have to do it that way. Then when it's your second and third and fourth, it'll work a lot faster. You get to ask for larger sums if it makes sense, if your business needs it. But if you take three investment meetings and all three say no and you get discouraged, keep going because
Yeah.
I took 200 for my second company.
Yeah, I love that because, and I love actually that you talked about the staged investments as well, because I do feel like when it is your first time, you've got to prove to people that you will do what you say you're going to do. That was the biggest thing I found. It's like every time I'd come back and say, hey, you know how you gave me that money and I said I was going to do X, Y, Z? Well, I did that and this is what's next. And that, I
Totally.
think that was the power.
Totally. And it's just one of those things where I really do think that, like, I think everyone has a lot of great ideas, but it all comes down to
Mm,
execution. Because one of the things that
mm,
people would say to me with my first company, Veeps, and even with Verswire, where they're like, well, aren't you scared someone's going to take your idea and do it themselves? I'm like, go for it. I'm like, you don't have me.
yeah.
Like you think Veeps didn't take 7 million pivots? And do you think like anyone else could have pivoted in the middle of a pandemic to a live stream company? I'd never done a live stream before.
Mm,
And then scale and then handle 4,000 artists and $10 million of gross rep. Or like even my existing company, Verswire, like yeah, how many times we've like adjusted and like, made sure we had the most amazing resources and team. I would love for there to be more Versewires because it just proves that the model works and it just proves that
yeah.
there's a real need out there. But I'm not afraid of competition. Take my idea. You don't have my team. period.
Yeah.